You make a lot of interesting videos about global affairs.
Yeah.
The Russian economy, like China economy, Japanese economy. What would you say are like the top competitors of the US economy? Do you think that the US economy is falling from grace, and what are your predictions for the US economy over the next like decade or so?
Yeah, I think the biggest competitor is definitely China. I actually went down this deep rabbit hole of like looking on YouTube of technologies and cars that China's coming out with. Dude, it's unreal. Some of the car brands and the features and the price, like it's no wonder that it's not allowed to sell these products in the US because none of our companies would compete or be able to hold a candle to these products. They are so much more advanced. Like Xiaomi released a phone that was kind of a carbon copy of the 17 Max Pro that just came out, and they actually called it the 17 Max Pro, I think. Like it was nearly an identical name. But I watched a review of that phone. Dude, it is legitimately like better on every front. Like it has such cool features. And I'm like, dude, if these products were sold here in the US, none of our companies would keep up.
Reminds me of the sports car that they came out with.
Yeah.
Doug DeMuro reviewed.
I saw that.
Like
it has the
$70,000.
headlights of a McLaren and the body of the Purosangue Ferrari. It's crazy. And it has like 1,400 horsepower.
Yeah. If that were in the US, everybody would buy it. Like I would gladly pay $50,000 over asking for that. It's just so unique and so cool.
It's
Their
like
technologies.
Yes. It's like a $40,000 car. Dude, it's unbelievable.
$40,000?
$40,000 car. It's unbelievable. It has like 450 miles of range. Like ridiculous. And so
But it makes you think, why can't we do that in the United States?
You tell me. I don't know why.
My understanding is that loose labor regulations, working conditions, things like this, and they don't quite have the guardrails in place for like the government like meddling with every little thing that allows these companies to basically produce this for such a low cost.
Right.
I've also heard that they don't have the R&D. So we spend all of this money developing. Then China goes and looks at this, studies it, and says, oh, okay, well, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And then they could make it without any of the initial investment.
Right. That's very true. Yeah. Combined with a low labor cost.
Correct.
And then you have a product that people actually buy.
Right.
If it was made here in the US, like, sure, we could make it, but it'd be like $300,000 and nobody would buy it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. That's a huge part of it. But back to your original question is, I think it's separate. Like from an investment perspective, I think the United States is still far and away the best country to live and make money in and invest in. But from a quality of life perspective, I think this is not the best country to live in.
What do you think is the best country to live in quality of life perspective?
I think Switzerland is far better.
Interesting.
Hold on, let me bring out. I think I have a chart here of the average life expectancy of people around the world, and we spend twice as much on healthcare in Switzerland. Or I'm sorry, here in the U.S. than Switzerland, and we are on average, we have a much lower life expectancy age. Let me find this chart. Check this out.
I have a rant on this.
So look at this. Do you see all that?
Jeez.
Like this is the United States, right? There's a dip with COVID, right? Makes sense. But that's a massive dip.
Wait, why did we dip with COVID so much more than, what is that? Switzerland?
We have a higher rate of obesity.
And so we had more compromised individuals getting COVID. And so they were like,
I imagine that was a big part
for
of
them.
It. Yeah, I imagine that's a big part of it.
The other thing could be, in fairness,
that's insane.
We reported a lot of deaths as COVID.
Because hospitals were incentivized to report
Correct.
It, right.
So that seems to me highly skewed.
I think that's probably true too. But I think to your point, or what you said about certain health conditions and pre-existing conditions, I think we're worse off.
Yeah. So I want to rant about this. This was really eye-opening to me. I went to the doctor for a checkup. I had not been in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she ordered a blood test. And I wanted to do all these additional tests. And she says,
oh man,
I can't order those tests.
Yeah.
I said, why? She says, well, because you need symptoms to be able to order these tests.
You need to be dying.
And so she said, do you feel tired and lethargic? Sometimes. Okay, well, we could order that test.
Right.
Do you have, fogginess, brain fog? Sure. Okay, we could order that test. And she kind of goes down the list of these symptoms that, sometimes I wake up and I'm tired. Sure. So we order these, but in total, it's like 8 tests.
Right.
and they bill my insurance $1,300. And my copay is something like 10% of it. So I pay like $100 and something of it. But anyway, I get it back, and it turns out that I have like high thyroid antibodies, which suggest either high stress, I'm overtraining, lack of sleep, could be any one of them. So I thought that was interesting. And then I ordered my own blood tests, and I paid out of pocket through a separate company. And they were charging like $500 for like 100 biomarkers. And I did that. And I got the results basically instantly within a few days. And it turned out I had no idea that I have like high LDL cholesterol. My heart biomarkers were like really genetically high, giving me a predisposition for like heart disease and building up plaque in my arteries, even though I'm like active and healthy. It's just a genetic thing. I never would have found that out if I didn't test on my own. And I started making these changes in my life now. Now I have a whole stack of supplements that I take on a daily basis, morning and night. I've adjusted my diet a little bit, and it's been about 3 weeks now, and I feel so much better just doing that change. I never would have figured it out had I not done it myself. Like, but the whole healthcare system is just designed to treat the symptom.
Dude, I wish you had told me this before. When did you do all this?
3 weeks, 4 weeks ago.
I could have told you this because, okay, so Corey and I went to Thailand specifically for that reason, because we wanted to test everything about ourselves. And we went to this hospital. I forget the name of it. It was like Bumrungrad or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Mm-hmm. And we go in, and it's this like 10-story building, super high end. There's like royalty there, I feel like, from the Middle East, just people of all sorts of walks of life, right? So we make an appointment. We get the executive package. Costs like $1,000. I want to say. I paid like $1,200 maybe. So we go in there, and they do like every test known to humankind, like everything. They do chest X-rays. They do like everything for your organs. They do a heart test. Like they have you run on a thing. They monitor like everything. They have you pee. They have you poop in a cup. They take your blood. Dude, they do everything. And I have a 10-page report on everything on my body. And it turns out I have like fatty liver, which is a very common thing for Americans. But you're right. It's like you can't order these tests here in the US because you have to exhibit symptoms. And in that place where we were at, they just do the diagnosis. They don't do any kind of like treatment for it. And that's probably because they don't want to have a conflict of interest, maybe. I don't know. But that hospital doesn't treat against anything. It just purely is a diagnostic center. And they did just about like every test I could ever think of for $1,000.
How long did that take?
And it took 3 hours, and I got the results within 8 hours. No, dude, it's amazing. Yeah. Like, so if you ever want to do that, I would highly recommend going to Thailand. Where was that? Thailand.
In Bangkok?
In Bangkok, yeah.
Interesting.
Get the executive package. Corey got like everything.
And how much was it?
$1,000.
That's not bad.
No. It's amazing.
I wish you had an option to opt out, or like just some sort of health insurance that's just catastrophic over like $50,000. Because so far what I've done, I found it cheaper to pay for everything out of pocket.
Yeah.
Like I'm buying prescriptions out of pocket. I'm going and just telling them I'll pay cash. I did a whole heart screening.
It's cheaper oftentimes. Yeah.
And I was asking like, okay, they asked me, do you want to go through insurance? And I was like, does insurance cover this? They're like, sometimes, but we're going to be booked a few weeks out. And I was like, can I just pay cash and come today? And she's like, can you come right now? And I was like, yeah. Okay. I paid $165, went in the same day. I just left, did it, and got my results back in 3 days.
Does that ever make you wonder, like, as you get older, if you realize how corrupt and how unfair the healthcare industry is? Does that make you think outside of that and like, well, how many other things are not good for you, like the food and that we eat and like everything about the quality of our life here in the US? Do you ever think about that?
I saw it was an Instagram post or like a TikTok that says like, you know, when you're growing up, when you go to the grocery store and you realize that 90% of it is extremely unhealthy.
Right.
And now it's all I see. I walk in the grocery store and thinking, who would eat this?
Right.
It's awful. Like everything has a ton of added sugar. They add sugar. The amount of sugar in ketchup is surprising. Like sugar in that? Really? And then you start looking at the sugar content of everything. They put sugar in everything.
High fructose corn syrup.
Yes.
And everything, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the older I get, the more I become a conspiracy theorist about everything. Sound like that grumpy old guy that's just like, I don't trust anything. I don't trust anyone. I don't know if you're noticing that about yourself.
No, it's just when it comes to
Okay.
government running things.
So everything.
No, not necessarily. I mean, healthcare, I don't think that's a government run thing. I think it's just the insurance companies that are just finding ways to gouge, and a lot of that, like certain things are really run up by lawyers, and like insurance costs are high because it's so easy to litigate. And so they have to be high because your chance of litigation is high because lawyers are very quick to serve you with something.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll agree to disagree. I don't know.
I've definitely become a lot more skeptical of things.
Yeah.
For sure. Everything. When I was a kid, I was extremely naive, and then you get burned a few times because you're naive.
Yeah.
And then you just have to become selective with what you decide to trust in and not trust.
So
but I agree, yeah.